This is the new 27-inch Alienware 4K QD OLED gaming monitor, the AW2725Q, and it sports the highest pixel density of any Alienware monitor to date at 166 ppi, which when paired with its QD OLED panel means remarkable clarity, high color purity, and exceptional dark scenes, at least according to marketing. But with its $899 price tag, is it worth it? Should you upgrade, and are there better options on the market? Let's roll that intro and find out. After years of doing product reviews, a new trend's emerged where brands are now requiring reviewers to submit their videos for final approval before it ever goes online. Now, this often means the brand can ask to remove anything deemed negative, which means product reviews are more influenced by the brand than ever. Now, because of this, I vow that anything I review on this channel will not only cover the good, but the bad, and because I don't do ads, cover the ugly as well. It's time to get brutally honest about reviews. This is full transparency.
Brutally honest review.
That's right, this is a brutally honest review, and because my videos are not sponsored, that means I have to pay out of pocket to keep this channel going. So if you find this video helpful, consider using my links. If we can grow this channel big enough, I'll even start giving away what I review to you. Here's a quick look at what you get inside the box, which includes a power cable, DisplayPort cable, HDMI cable, and USB type A to B. And because I always get asked, it does come shipped with a protective screen on the panel. Once assembled, the first thing I noticed is the new rounded design, covered in navy blue and gray toned plastic. It kind of gives this futuristic Fallout vibe on the back, where we can see this rounded square, which is the new 360-degree ventilation and cable management hole in the stand, which I appreciate is placed higher up. I've had other monitors which place the port so low you could see the cables under the panel from the front. Once powered on, the only sources of RGB are the alien head and the power button underneath, which you can of course change the color of. I much prefer this small footprint versus large V-shaped stand some competitors use, as the width of the stand is only about 9.5 inches, while the entire monitor sits at a max height just over 20 inches, has a width of 24 inches, a depth just over 8 inches, and weighs in at less than 15 pounds. I mentioned max height because it is height adjustable, can swivel left and right, can tilt up and down, and go into portrait mode if you're planning on spending nearly $1,000 on a 4K QD OLED just to have Discord on the side. Taking a look at the connections on the back from left to right, we have your power connector, an HDMI 2.1 FRL port with eARC which supports Dolby Atmos, another HDMI 2.1 FRL port without eARC, both ports support variable refresh rate and HDR, a DisplayPort 1.4 with DSC, a USB Type-B upstream port, 3 USB Type-A downstream ports, 2 on the back and 1 on the bottom, which shares a spot with a USB-C downstream port with power delivery of 15 watts. A few things to take away here. One, there is no 3.5mm audio line out jack, so traditional PC speaker users that rely on that, well, you're going to have to invest in a soundbar or speaker set that uses eARC instead, or you're going to need an audio interface with studio monitors. Unfortunately, for those looking to future-proof, hoping for a DisplayPort 2.1 connection, we've still got 1.4 with DSC. The menu gives most of your standard options. The main things you may find useful are the color preset modes, where you can choose between standard, FPS, RTS, RPG, and sport, as well as creator mode, which I find to be super useful in sRGB. This is going to be a big one for you gamers who create and edit content, and while OLED panels are not really recommended for productivity work, I do it anyway, and Dell does offer that super useful 3-year burn-in warranty, which should help alleviate any concerns. Another thing I like here is there is no annoying pop-up screen that reminds you to pixel refresh every 4 hours, and you can set the monitor to automatically do it when on standby. You can also toggle the monitor's RGB lighting options, turn on a variety of Alien Vision crosshairs, as well as turn on Dolby Vision when you stream content, and choose between HDR modes, which include desktop, movie HDR, game HDR, custom color HDR, display HDR True Black, and HDR Peak 1000. No matter the card in your PC, you're covered as it has VESA Adaptive Sync, AMD FreeSync Premium Pro, and is G-Sync compatible. You're also getting a 240Hz refresh rate for you competitive gamers and the same 0.03 millisecond response time we've seen on all the latest generation 32-inch QD OLED panels. With its infinite contrast ratio combined with the QD OLED panel, black levels look fantastic, although this can depend on your room and how bright it is. I tend to live that vampire life and keep most of my blinds and curtains closed when consuming content. SDR mode averages around 265 nits, while HDR measured around 460 nits in the HDR Peak 1000 setting. Dell claims the AW2725Q is good at professional editing, both photo and video, and I can agree as it measured in with 100% sRGB, 96% Adobe RGB, and 98% DCI-P3 with a Delta E under 2. And just look at that beautiful gameplay. No matter how you feel about the actual game, color accuracy and vibrancy are anything but mid. This is peak performance when it comes to picture quality. And while I'm not one who's bothered by text fringing, with 166 ppi, it should be a solid improvement if you've been concerned with that on other OLED panels. So you've got a 4K monitor in a 27-inch body with a higher pixel density, resulting in superb clarity and peak color performance. Add to cart and check out, right? Well, not so fast. While I'm not disputing the capabilities the AW2725Q provides, there are some things you might want to think about before you give in to the urge to splurge. If text fringing on OLEDs is a big deal to you, and you're coming from a non-OLED panel, especially if it's 1440p or 1080p, and prefer a 27-inch monitor, I think you're going to be happy with what this model provides. The jump in resolution and quality of panel is significant enough to justify the expense. That said, if it were me considering the purchase for my needs, I would not recommend the monitor as I already have a 34-inch QD OLED, and while it doesn't feature a super high pixel density, unless you're placing the monitors side by side, I doubt you'd be able to tell a difference. Even then, you might need to have eagle eyes. Go birds! So in my opinion, if you already have an OLED monitor, there's no reason to upgrade just for the extra pixel density. There's also the price tag. At that $1,000 ballpark, you have a range of 32-inch and 34-inch QD OLED options out there, especially when those sales hit, so unless you specifically want a smaller screen for competitive gameplay, you can get more in terms of space for around the same amount of money. Models that come to mind worth considering are the 32-inch Alienware AW2725QF, which retails at $1,200, so watch for those sales, or something like the 34-inch MSI 341CQPX, which is on sale for $750 as we speak. Again, just options to consider before you spend your hard-earned money. Now let me know what you think of the AW2725Q, and if you feel like this is the one to get to finally get you to jump into QD OLED gaming. If there's a better option, comment that below so everyone who watches this video can check it out, and if you made it this far into the video, comment friends till the end so I can show my appreciation. If there's something you'd like to see reviewed on this channel, let me know. That's going to wrap things up for today. I'll see you next time.